But you know not my battles. This is part 3 of Hebrews 3. But you know not my battles, and yet you presumed you did. And you were petty, jealous, and envious, revealing in you what? You better acknowledge and see what is inside of you. The works of the flesh. Covetousness, and petty pride, all that stuff, that is not of God. The Holy Ghost does not dwell in a temple that has those things. I'm telling you this for your own good because you're not seeking the Holy Ghost because you presume you have it. No, you do not. Not if you are doing these things and you have the works of the flesh in your temple. I tell you this under the authority of the Holy Ghost. Now, here's the thing. Mop out your house and clean it up and seek the Holy Ghost. You're out of time. Or you could sit there in your vain pride and not be humble and say, no, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, and you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Right on till you wrong your way into hell. Because you are not greater than God. You do not know my new name. You do not know who I am. Or who sent me or why. Do not presume that you are greater than the ark of God, because you are not greater war is coming. I have warned you repeatedly. Now either you will fight with me, or I will fight against you with the sword of my mouth. Your choice. Choose you this day whom you will serve, and serve them in word and deed. Now let's get back into this, shall we? Verse 7 of Hebrews 3. Wherefore, as the Holy Ghost saith, today, if you will hear his voice, harden not your hearts as in the provocation, in the day of the temptation in the wilderness. Oh, how you all small Moses, Israel. That's what I said. God sends you a deliverer, and you smite them, just as they did when God sent someone to deliver them, Israelites, from Pharaoh. They smote Moses, scoffed him, scorned him on a daily basis, and defied what he told them that the living God said to him. I hear his voice, always have. Can you say that? Do you talk to him daily? Oh, more importantly, do you hear his voice daily? I don't think it's a wise decision then that you should be thinking you're greater than someone who does. Now, I've never said I was greater than any, and I do not set myself above. I am not greater. I will not say that. Jesus is greater, and he is the only greater there is. You all are just the same as me. You are filthy rags, and you are lowly and nothing. Stop presuming that your nothing is greater than my nothing, because it's not. Our nothings are equal. Unless you go into hell, then your nothing is going to be less. Now, your nothing could be equal to my nothing, and we can get into heaven together on faith and grace. Or you can go into hell with less than what the rest of us have. Because we ain't going into hell. Those of us that are doing what the Lord said, no, we ain't going there. Harden not your hearts as in the provocation, in the day of temptation in the wilderness. You know what that temptation was? It was unbelief. Unbelief in what Moses told them. What God, the living God, was conveying to them. So I say to you, what is your temptation? You've been doing the same thing. You've been doing the same exact thing. When your fathers tempted me. Verse 9. Proved me, which means challenged me, and saw my works 40 years. That's Moses right there, right? Wherefore I was grieved with that generation and said, they do always err in their heart, and they have not known my ways. Saying that again, gentlemen and ladies. This generation doeth err in their hearts, and they do not know my ways. So I swear in my wrath, they shall not enter into my rest. That's Jesus, gentlemen and ladies. And I say ladies lightly because ladies, you are not. You act nothing like a lady. You think you're to adorn yourself and say, look at me, look at me. Well, listen, Ernestine. Take your little rocks and put them back in your bag. We ain't tossing them through no windows today. This ain't Mayberry. What we're going to do is, we're not going to stone one another no more. That's what we're going to do. We're not stoning each other anymore. You best be glad for that. Because I would pick me up a mess of pelts. And I'd pelt you good. And rightly so, too. Because y'all been pelting me with your words and your scoffing. But you know the difference here? Though I speak sternly to you, I love you. You know not this road that I walk, but I love you enough, no matter how lonesome it is on me, no matter how hard that my wilderness is, I love you enough to walk it. But more importantly, I love my Lord enough to walk it. It's not easy. Having to be different from everyone. Having to be mocked and scorned. Having to be so set apart that even the Christian people think they are above you. Do you know who you've been setting yourself above? Y'all have been setting yourself above the King. And the King has been patient and long-suffering with you, while you set yourself above. Let's get on into what you have done, shall we? See you in part 4.